What's up, Samurai? We are back with some more Genshin Impact, and today we're going to be doing the Ascension guide talking about Kaveh, or Kaveh. I'm going to call him Kaveh because I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I honestly don't care. But anyways, for those of you that also don't care about my ramblings, there's going to be the Ascension card. There will be a link in the description, or you can just take a screenshot of it, whatever. It's entirely up to you. You will note the resources that he's going to end up taking are brand new. So there's going to end up being the hydrohypostasis, but more importantly, this resource is going to end up being the new weekly boss, which is located in the new area, which you're probably going to have to rush through Nahida's story quest in order to unlock the beast. And honestly speaking, you're not going to be able to max this guy out right away. Now, I don't know whether or not this character is a Claymore user or a Catalyst user, because as far as I know, he uses his book, but his animations are using a Claymore. So I don't 100% know. I'll probably, if I can, I'll put text on the screen that'll end up mentioning it, but Honey Impact doesn't seem to know either. So first, his elemental skill, which is Artistic Ingenuity, which is using Merak's mapping ability for offensive purposes, initiating a radial scan that deals area of effect Dendro damage. It will also scan all Dendro cores in its area of effect and cause them to immediately burst, which is pretty cracked. The character doesn't actually take damage from those bursting, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Moving on to the ultimate, Painted Dome. Completely unleashes Merak's energy and creates a cubic scanned space, dealing area of effect Dendro damage to all opponents within it, causing all Dendro cores in its area of effect to immediately burst, and granting Kaveh the following effects following enhanced combat abilities for a specific duration. So it'll increase his normal charged and plunging attack area of effect and convert his attacks into Dendro damage that cannot be overridden by other elements. All Dendro cores created by your own party members through bloom reactions will deal additional damage when they burst, and it increases Kaveh's resistance to interruption. Hopefully it's not as bad as Dea's. And then these effects will obviously be cancelled once Kaveh leaves the field. His passive abilities are going to be as follows. So when Kaveh crafts landscape, building, and courtyard type furnishings, that's very specific, he has a 100% chance to refund a portion of the materials used. When damage dealt by a Dendro core, including damage from Burgeon and Hyperbloom, hits Kaveh, Kaveh will regain HP equal to 300% of his elemental mastery. This effect can be triggered every 0.5 seconds. And then his final passive, during Painted Dome, after Kaveh's normal charge or plunging attack hits an enemy, his mastery will increase by 25. This effect can be triggered once every 0.1 seconds and can go to a maximum of 4 stacks. This effect will be cancelled when Painted Dome effects end. Moving on to his constellations, his C1 makes it so that within 3 seconds after using Artistic Ingenuity, his E ability, Kaveh's Dendro resistance and incoming healing bonus will be increased by 50% and 25% respectively. His C2 makes it so that his normal attack speed is increased by 15% during his ultimate. His C3 will increase his ultimate by 3 levels. His C4 makes it so that Dendro cores created from bloom reaction Kaveh triggers will deal 60% more damage when they burst. His C5 increases his E ability by 3 levels, and his C6 makes it so that when Kaveh's normal charged or plunging attacks hit opponents during his ultimate, it will unleash Paradisa's Light upon the opponent's position, dealing 61.8% of Kaveh's attack as area of effect Dendro damage and causing all Dendro cores within that area of effect to burst. This effect can only trigger once every 3 seconds. So even though it seems like he's going to end up scaling off of EM, generally speaking, it depends how you want to build him. For the most part, I would probably just build him towards attack because it seems like he's a DPS type character, especially with how greedy he is with his ult, not being able to swap off of him. So Debate Club would be a pretty decent one, but that's only a 3-star. Sacrificial Sword would be okay. Probably would be using Forest Regalia because that one's going to end up being the one that's focused more so on Dendro reactions. That or possibly the Beacon of the Reed Sea. Again, it depends whether or not he's actually a Claymore user or a Catalyst user, but I'm just going to leave you guys with the Claymore stuff just because otherwise if he's a Catalyst user, it's probably going to be very similar to Baizhu just because of the fact that he's a Catalyst user and he's got similar stuff. As for artifact sets, you could be using either the Dendro Deepwood Memories or just kind of your standard attack percentage artifacts. Gladiator and stuff like that would probably work fine, because you gotta remember that even though one of his abilities does infuse his attacks with Dendro, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to benefit over the grand scheme of things by having nothing but Dendro bonuses, right? Talent priority depends, but generally speaking, I would say you're probably gonna want to go for his E and his ult if you're not using as a primary. But if you are using him as one of your main characters, it would probably just be his E and his normal attack, and then his ultimate as the last priority. Honestly, if it's a character that you plan on maining, you're probably just gonna max out all of his abilities anyways, right? Anyways, that's gonna do it, gamers. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch if you want to support the channel, and have a wonderful day. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.